Okay, guys, so we're back with episode number 7, and this one is kind of near and dear to me because my guest this week is Alvin Brown, who is a physiotherapist, an osteopath, life coach, public speaker, author. I mean, the list goes on and on, but those of you in the GTA may know Alvin Brown already. Those of you not in the GTA are going to get to know him now, but the reason this podcast is important is I get a lot of DMs from people about relationships, about how to deal with the stress of competing, how to deal with self-doubt and overcoming self-doubt and overcoming hurdles in life. And I had all of my own, including anxiety and things like that. And Alvin Brown was one of the people that helped me learn how to get through them. And I still use some of the practices me and him had discussed in our time working together. The only reason I don't work with Alvin Brown anymore is because Alvin is based in Toronto and I'm in Windsor. So we're about 4 hours apart. So I don't have that luxury any longer. But without further ado, Alvin, would you like to say hello and greet everybody?
All right. Fouad, man, I appreciate you having me on here. This is awesome. I'm looking forward to it, brother. I'm looking forward to love connecting with you, and, I appreciate everything you
do. I want to get right into it, and I want to touch on a couple things that they're DMs that I'm constantly getting from people that always need to be answered, and I don't know if I'm 100% qualified to answer them, but I know you are. So one of the ones I get more than anything is, how do you feel about relationships and how in the bodybuilding world, and how some people have trouble getting support from their families and friends, and it kind of dissuades them from wanting to be bodybuilders, or makes it even harder on them than bodybuilding already is, because they're not getting the support from their family and friends. How do they navigate those relationships and try and keep them intact and try and get that support that we're all looking for?
Here's the thing about it. Bodybuilding is no different than being an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur, at the end of the day, you're going to be, if you want this thing to be successful and to survive, it's going to take a lot of your time. Bodybuilding is the same way. It's a very selfish sport, meaning that anyone who does it, female, male, they'll realize sooner or later that it's all about you for 16 weeks or maybe more. It's going to be just about what you eat, meticulous. Entrepreneurship's the same thing. Since I've been on this journey for 20 odd years now, 24 years, 25 years, man, if I'm not here at work, I'm home with with my family, and I don't go out much socially. And so it's kind of the same. Any venture you want to get into that takes time, dedication, and mastery, it's going to eat up your time. So the big thing I found, I've been with my wife now for 34 years. I met her in 84. And it's constant communication, man. It's constant communication. It's constant. You and your partner have dialogue about what's involved in this. Even when I was going to go have kids, we kind of sat down and made a plan. Do you want to stay at home or I'll stay at home? I don't mind staying at home, but one of us is going to sacrifice. So it has to be, you got to make a decision who's going to do it. And luckily for me, my wife loved being a mom. So she didn't mind staying at home, but she had to understand, though, that I'm going to be there as much as I can for as many things as I can. But otherwise, it's just going to have to be what it is. And you got to have to understand that, right? So
your advice is to kind of like get people prepared ahead of time for what they're going to endure.
Yeah, man. They got to understand what they're getting into and be on the same page all the way, on the same page.
What do you say to the kid who says, okay, Alvin, but I told them what it's going to take, and my family and my friends just think it's stupid, and they think what I'm doing is dumb, or they think it's unhealthy. They think I'm hurting myself. What should I do to convince them, or do I just ignore them and cut those people out of my life? Like, how do I deal with this when I have people just constantly working against me already?
Yeah. So, you know what? In anything to be successful, anything, read biographies. No one's going to believe in your dream, man. It's not their dream. They're going to want you to be safe. They want to have you at home. It's comfort for them to know where you are going to be, and you're getting home at 3, and we can watch TV or go in the garden or whatever it is. Everyone wants you to be at home, and we want that too from our partners sometimes. But if it's your dream, if it's your passion, it's just they're gonna have to understand that's where you gotta have to make that deal, you know. And the other thing that I wanted to elaborate on a little bit is the other promise you have to make, though, is that when you are home, you are engaged in what they want to do. It's not going to be 24 hours all about you. When you make that promise for the 16 hours, whatever it is, that you are focused on your passion, the extra 8, it's yours. I'm gonna dedicate to you. Because one thing I did with my kids, I got 4 kids. With my kids, one thing I did was I made sure I was at every game. Although I was on my computer up in the field, I never sat with any parents.
Yeah.
I never sat with parents because they're always talking about some shit. I was up in the field on my computer watching the game. But when I got back in the car, when I drive my kid home, me and him are downloading the game, what happened in the game. Yeah. So it's that mix. It's that mix that I make sure that I never miss the recital, I never miss the game. But otherwise, I'm at work, you know?
Okay, so relationship-wise, we established that you have to give, even if you only have a fraction of time, you have to give it to people in as much quality as possible to make them feel like they can endure the selfish part that you're going to go through every day. But I just want to circle back to it one more time.
Yeah.
How do I deal with the mom? Okay, I'll give you a story. For example, when I started, and I'm not sure if I've already told you this story, Alvin, but when I started bodybuilding, I was 21. I had won my first show. Yeah. And after my first show, me and my brother, I still remember it like it was yesterday. He was dropping me off at a friend's. We were in his car. And I told him I wanted to keep bodybuilding. And he said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, I got a really good feeling from it. I think it's something I can really be good at, and I really enjoy it, and I think I want to do it for a living." Mm-hmm. And he did everything he could to talk me out of it in that conversation. Mm-hmm. Don't do it. It's unhealthy. You're not going to make any money. You're never going to be successful. Nobody from Canada makes it, blah, 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 such and such and such.
Yeah.
I got out of the car and obviously I ignored him.
Yeah.
But is that your advice to other people coming up? Like if your brother or your friend or whatever is trying to say, don't do it, do you just either, is it either like you accept what I'm doing and you can be part of my life, or you're gone?
Yeah.
Or do you have to give in to those people?
No, I wouldn't say gone. I would say I'm going to limit my time around you if you don't believe in what I'm doing at the end of the day. Because, you know, everything you just described about your brother, I heard that from people very close to me. When I got into massage therapy back in the 90s, what are you doing? It's a luxury. Who's going to go to it? That's what a friend said to my wife. You know, what's he doing getting into that? It's a luxury. And, you know, wasn't he do something real? And so that put a chip on my shoulder to prove them wrong. And even when I started to open up my coaching division of what I do, even my lovely, amazing, supportive wife said, "Why are you doing that? Because I don't have any friends that use that. So why are you doing it?" Yeah. And I had to push back. I had to push back against her I love when people doubt. For me personally, doubt, it's the fuel. I actually get too complacent when you agree with me.
Yeah. So actually brings me to another point I wanted to ask you about the coaching thing. A lot of people, it's funny because as bodybuilders, we think we're hard and we're tough and we're not supposed to be sensitive and we're not supposed to have emotions and all these things. And anxiety is part of emotion. When you told me you were a life coach, I was at a point where my anxiety was to the point where I needed some help. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to go see a traditional psychotherapist or anything like that. So we had started discussing, what do you say to the guy who's having some issues either with the pressures of competing or trying to put a business together with his bodybuilding career, or is having trouble with any type of self-help issues or mental health issues? What do you say to that guy who says, life coaching is not real, it's not for me, and I don't trust anybody to tell me how to live my life, et cetera, et cetera? How does somebody get over that hurdle and come in and say, "Yeah, Alvin, I need your help"?
Right. All right. So I got to tell you something, you know, being Jamaican, that's also like really, you don't accept help. You know, I'm gonna generalize. I don't know if there's anybody listening who would go against that, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna say generalize. We don't see psychotherapists, man. We don't even know what that is. Kind of thing. Coach, life coach, you never see that. So for me, accepting help was a huge thing. I mean, I don't need anybody was my thought. But when you think about it, Tiger, some of the best people in the world, when I started to research it, some of the best in the world, especially today. You look at today, nutrition coach. I mean, back in the day when I was fighting, you didn't use all of that. I never got body work done until I saw somebody doing it in Cuba. I didn't know anybody. Oh, he's getting this help. So now everybody's got, there's a great quote I heard. It said, you can't see the frame of the picture that you're in. If you're in the frame, you can't see it. So how you know that you're making an error, that and your mind, the same mind that creates a problem, can't be the mind that gets you out of it. So someone is there who's walked the path ahead of you, who make that their passion, and they can give you the steps that you need. So you can focus on what you do best, which is getting into the gym, which is driving hard. Why the hell are you going to go? What, you're going to read self-help books and try to figure, why bother? Focus. You only have so much amount of time and energy. Focus on lifting the weights. Focus on being the best bodybuilder in the world. Someone else can go, here's the frame. I'm seeing your frame. It's a little dented. Let's straighten that out. Let's fix that up. There's errors you're making in maybe what you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're doing, and just tweak and you're back on board, right? It's a team. So you need a team.
Where does the confidence come from? You know, like, you've helped me a lot, and I'm sure you've helped other people. Where does the confidence come from for you to say, you know what, I can help you. I know what you should be doing. I know why you're thinking the things you're thinking. I know how to help you get past this. Where did you get that from?
Yeah.
Because it's not really something you go to school for. I mean, you can go to school to be a therapist, but what you do is not really therapy. It's more just helping the person see clearly.
Yeah.
Is the way I would describe it.
Yeah. A couple of answers to that. And that's a really, really good question. Here's why, because I've suffered too. When I first started doing martial arts, I choked. I was amazing in the gym, man. You couldn't beat me in the gym. I was awesome. Get out on the floor, I was choking. I don't even know why. As soon as you told me that this was for the medal, every time you put a pressure on me and tell me that this was for the medal, this is the medal round, I choked. I know that. Guys who shouldn't beat me are beating me. Yeah. So I figured out that later on, after my career was done, and I started to really go, what the fuck happened to me? Like, why am I brilliant in the gym and then choking out here? That put me on a path of going, why? Yeah. Why? And what I found out was when I went to do a thing, I just randomly showed up, and my fingers crossed, hopefully I had a good fight that day. Hopefully I had a good performance that day. It was a hope. I found that great people don't hope. They put themselves in a state that gets them. You'll never see great people just show up. There's preparation like crazy, man.
So you've been through your own struggles, so you know what it feels like. I know what you mean though when you touch on the pressures, because in the gym, when I'm posing before a show, I got it down. Everything is there. My body looks great. My food is great. But you know me, I've had my own episodes of self-sabotage with the Arnolds, and usually it comes with a show that's so big that I had trouble wrestling with it. And so I've been down that same road where I was like, in the gym I got everything down pat, but as soon as the show gets closer, the bigger the show, the more that pressure starts to eat away at you. So your experiences are what help you teach your clients how to get through things.
And you know what? 24 years of listening. The beauty of my job, and anybody who does anything personal service, trainers, bartenders, they know people reveal a lot to you when they're in that vulnerable state to relax and they feel safe. So I have heard just about everything. This room, I call my room my lab. I don't know if there's anything you can tell me that I haven't heard in some way. So both my personal experience and because I thought I was afraid of fighting at one point. You know, I watched my brothers and my sisters, man, if the wind changed directions, man, they'd be fighting. I'm
Yeah.
like, how God, why do they like that? You know, so I might like, what's wrong with me? I was thinking, you know, so I wanted to go out and learn everything I could about being the baddest man on the planet. I studied martial arts. I got 2 black belts, Aikido, Taekwondo, I boxed, I bounced, you know, but it didn't fill that mental side to me.
Yeah.
It didn't fix anything. I just learned a bunch of things to be proficient, but it didn't fix anything. I knew it was between my ears. I had to fix between my ears. So that's why I went on a quest, and that's why I love working with athletes, because athletics, and you look at this guy playing basketball in the Raptors, Kawhi Leonard. I mean, this guy, the biggest thing about that whole thing that came out of that with Kawhi is his mental state. Everyone's focused. How does this guy keep and it's infectious. He's keeping the whole bench focused mentally. You see, I love it. That's what I love about it. What
advice would you give somebody? I know a lot of people listening may have a show coming up, but maybe their first show, maybe their 5th show, maybe a pro show, who knows? What advice would you give somebody coming up to those shows? Because I just actually got this DM yesterday. The guy says to me, I have self-doubt every night. It's crippling. Sometimes I can't sleep. Sometimes I don't want to go to the gym because I feel there's no point, but I'm pushing through. Obviously, the pressure is getting to this guy. So what do you say to these people that are always doubting themselves and the pressure seems to just cripple them at times?
Right. So a couple things on that. One, they're making it about them. Here's something that I realized after my study and introspection is that those people who say they're shy are actually got a big ego, believe it or not. Because what they're doing is they're making it about them. When I go on stage to speak, you know, when I MC for your show, I don't give a shit about me. Yeah. I know it's about the audience having a good time. So here's a great experiment that anybody listening can do. If you're afraid, afraid of going in front of a crowd, and you think about this, you're in an auditorium, 1,000 people are sitting out there, and you got to go out and say something. Immediately you get tense. But if there was a fire in the hallway, and you have to tell those people that to get out of that auditorium, you'd run up there and tell them because you want to save lives. See, when someone's afraid to go out and do something, they're making it about them. It ain't about you, man. It ain't about you.
I see what you're saying, actually. That makes a lot of sense, because if you're trying to save them from the fire, you're not worried about how they're going to judge you. You're just trying to get them out of their seats and get them to react. And you're trying to help them. But you're right. If the speech is your speech and it's nothing critical, now you're thinking, well, how are they going to judge me? How are they going to look at me? What are they going to think of me? And you're right. It all becomes about you and nothing else. But in saying that, a bodybuilding show is about you, though. So if I'm stressed out because I'm like, I'm going to go on stage and I have these 7 judges sitting in front of me, they're going to judge me. Yeah. And there's going to be a bunch of people in the audience, and there's going to be the viral, and there's a social media aspect, and how are people going to think about me? And then this kind of thing can be, all these things can compound on top of each other and kind of start to really eat away at you. Yeah. So how do you navigate that and just keep training?
All right.
Just stay focused.
Yeah, again, these are such good questions, because the word me, see, when they're judging your body, they're judging the package that you brought to the stage, not you. When we use the word me, it becomes personal. It becomes, we feel it makes it more personal. For instance, I'm going to give you an example. I'm dealing with this lady right now. She's looking for an apartment. She's a single mom looking for an apartment. So she's putting applications in, and it's very tough now to find a place, apparently. So she says, what am I going to do about it? I feel like, every time I put an appointment, they're rejecting me. I said, are they rejecting you, or are they rejecting the application? Because they don't know you. But the minute when you make it about me, the judges, and you think about this, Fouad, when you're looking at a guy on stage, you don't give a shit about that guy. You're looking at his body.
That's right.
You're judging the body, not me. So when you can walk on stage and go, did I put the best package together that they want to see? Yeah. The package. Then I'm going to step on there and show the package. They don't give a shit about you.
I see what you're saying. So you're taking the personal side out of it completely, and you're making it objective. So now your body is just literally a vehicle, and you're taking the soul out of it, because you're right. If you say me, now it's personal. There's emotion behind it. And that emotion is actually what's crippling. Yeah.
Judgment. See, what happens when you use the word me is it goes beyond your body into you, the person.
Yeah.
Like you're thinking, you're judging me now. Now it goes back to some childhood shit that they judge me. They made me feel bad. And
that's right.
Me. What we do all day, we drive through. We think people cut us off because it's me. We're gonna go attack them now because you cut me. They didn't cut you off. And they didn't probably see you. You probably do the same thing too, and you didn't see the. So we human beings love doing that because it's a protective thing, right? It's a protective. So we want to protect our soul. So we kind of make everything about me. So if we just change that word that I'm going on, I worked this hard for 16, 20 weeks, whatever it is, to go on and show the package, how I put together this symmetry, this balance. And they're going to give me feedback on what I can do better. Because, in bodybuilding, man, I've worked with Jay Cutler and Ronnie. And the thing about them, when they were when Jay was at his peak, winning the Olympia, he was never satisfied with the package he brought. It was always a work in progress. Yeah. So it's a work in progress, man. This sport is one, there's no destination. You're not going to get anywhere. So don't even worry about trying to get perfect because there's no place to get to.
So if I get these questions, if I get the question like that from someone, my answer to them should be work on making that vehicle that you're going to take to the stage the best it can be and stop worrying about the emotional side of it. Stop worrying about eliminate the personal side of it.
Because ask them too, when you go to the stage, when you were in the audience looking at that person on stage, what are you thinking about them? Are you going back going, geez, I wonder what they're like. I wonder what no, you're looking at their body going, geez, that pec, oh yeah, that's a good pec. That's a good, they're not going, oh, Fouad, geez, I wonder what his personal life is like.
But it's hard to, I mean, the line is blurry though, right? Because I know what you're saying. I agree with you 100%. When you're looking at the stage, you're not going, Jay Cutler looks like this, this, and this. You're like that physique looks like, you're saying his name, but really you just mean objectively his body. So I do understand what you're saying, but at the same time, when it's you yourself, hard to, because whether they're judging the vehicle or they're judging the personality, the vehicle is still mine.
Yes.
Right? So they're still judging me. They're not judging my personality. They're judging my physical appearance.
That's right.
That can be still threatening to someone because they're like, look, Alvin, I worked for a whole year on this physical vehicle that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So even though they're not attacking me as a person, if they say, well, your legs are shit, it's still an attack on me, isn't it? Like it's still, or is it just telling me to get my ass back to the gym and get to work?
It's bingo. And if you're a true competitor, that's how you're going to take it. If you're a true competitor, you're going to take it that way. When you're taking it personally, you're not a competitor anymore. Okay, you're not, and even as a professional, professionals don't take shit. It's a mercenary. They go in there and do a job. They execute. And okay, cool. One person's opinion, my legs. Okay, I need to build my legs up. Cool, that's good information. And the thing about it is when you're getting on that stage, okay, so you're 100% right. The line is gray. Why? Because we're human beings.
Yeah.
We don't like to be vulnerable. So everything somebody says, and forget bodybuilding, let's move it to our personal life. The minute somebody says something, we start thinking, what do you say? What did you say that for? And it's about, we are genetically wired to protect the ego.
Yeah.
So you're right. It is blurred, but we have to train ourselves to realize that this is a sport, this is my profession, and this is my personal life. You don't know me personally. Yeah. So you can say whatever you want, because at the end of the day, that audience member is also paying the ticket. And they're going to pay your sponsorship. You're right? So let them have opinions. That's what they're paying for it. Let them have it.
It's a beautiful sentiment, but it's hard.
Yeah.
And it kind of leads me to my next point, which is, how do you think social media plays into this? Because when me and you were working together, there was Facebook and stuff, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. Now it's kind of everything. So how does somebody deal with the pressure of, okay, not only are the judges judging me,
Yeah.
But I got to post these photos on social media because, listen, the bottom line is you need a social media account and followers and all this stuff, and you have to be engaged to get these sponsorships.
Yeah.
So now not only are the judges judging me and the fans in the stands judging me, but I get judged on a daily basis through my Instagram. And I don't always like the comments, Alvin. So how do I deal with them? How do I deal with the people that write, "You're shit. I don't know what you're doing. Just retire. Just quit. Just why are you doing a show? It's pointless." These people are on a daily basis. They're there. And I know sometimes they don't mean anything, but how do I deal with it? Because it's getting to me.
Yeah.
It's what people say to me. Actually, and I'm not just going to speak in the third person, like, or about other people, even myself.
Yeah.
People think that, oh, pros got it all figured out. I don't got it all figured out.
Yeah.
When I got 100 comments on a picture and 5 of them are fucking ignorant.
Yeah.
How do I deal with those? Do I delete them? Do I comment back? Do I block the person? What is that supposed to mean to me? How is that supposed to affect me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do I deal with that?
Yeah, I totally get it. So again, remember, we're wired by default to take things personally. That's number one. And the big thing I want to underline here, and you're kind of saying it, is self-mastery is not easy. You are going against every grain of genetic fiber that is a human being. So what I'm asking for is this person to train their ass. This is training, just like you've trained your body. This is training because it's going against everything that's genetically put in us to protect ourselves. So it's not going to be easy. Anything I'm telling you is fucking not easy. Listen, I work daily to get myself in that mindset piece, because you're going against culture, you're going against upbringing, you're going against all these things that you've wired for a bunch of decades, and you're going to try to unwire it. So that's one. And number two is, as I get older now, and I always wish for wisdom, So here's what I realized, and this sound like a candy. You can find this on some quote or something, but at the end of the day, here's what I realized. When I'm in the arena, getting beaten, bruised, being vulnerable, you're in the seat. You're in the seats. You can say anything because you're not out here. You ever notice that the people who are at your level never have anything negative to say about you? They have great feedback because
that's right.
They're being vulnerable. If I'm at home, geez, if you're watching the Raptors this past game 5, why was he in the corner? Why didn't Nick Nurse do this? We can all say that, man, but you're not in the game. You're not. The guys in the game have no emotions. But we're over here, doing what we do. So at the end of the day, what I love, Fouad, is that, I put the videos out every day, and I get people coming back. Oh, you're lighting. You maybe should do it this way. I don't give a shit. It's not about you, man. I got 5 likes. I'm good at that. I got 50 likes. I'm good at that too. I don't care who watches it, who doesn't watch, because it's about me growing. I'm growing every day by doing those videos. And there's 5, 6, 10, 20 people might give me private message. That's good. It's helping 1 or 2 people. I don't expect to please everybody at the end of the day. And you should never, look at Jesus got, if you believe in the religion, got put up on the cross. Gandhi, Martin Luther King has haters, Mandela.
But wait a minute. Let me stop you. So let's I want to bring it back to an actual point where I can use the advice daily. So we're going to use me for an example, because I don't want to say people. I'm going to make this very specific.
Yep.
So I post a picture. I get 100 comments. Yeah. 5 of the comments are just, oh, you're on steroids. Oh, you suck. Oh, you're old. You just might as well quit. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever the saying, right? Most of the time, I feel like what you're saying is how I feel. I don't give a shit. You're sitting in the fucking stands. Right. You're not doing shit with your life. You don't mean anything. But, you have a day where you're like, you kind of woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You're not feeling as confident. You're not feeling as, your self-esteem's not as high someday. And then you get one of these comments. And maybe it starts to get at you. So how do I deal with these people? Do I delete their comment? Do I leave their comment? Do I pretend it doesn't exist? Do I let it, how do I deal with it in that day where it's just such a shitty day that person actually may have gotten to me?
Yeah. Okay, again, good question. It depends on your personality. And you're 100% right. What I'm saying, I want all your listeners to realize that what I'm saying, it takes work. It's a work in progress. One day you will be vulnerable, like tender, open to criticism. You're not going to be this strong person constantly. So it's going to happen. But hopefully it's 1-2 days out of the month.
Yeah.
And just, that's fair enough. So now, that's one thing, is realizing that what I'm saying, there is zero. It's almost like someone in your business, in your area, saying, is there a way to get abs in a week? You know, I'm 30 pounds overweight. I'm going to get, 6-pack abs in a week. It's impossible. It takes work. It takes time.
Yeah.
So all of it takes time. That's number one. It takes time. Number two is realizing that, you're going to have those days, and it depends on the decisions you make to either delete that comment, to keep that comment, or to do whatever with it, reply back. The worst thing, I think, in my opinion, the worst thing you can do is reply back, because it's a never ending.
I agree.
Yeah. As people looking onwards, they're watching the show, and you become part of
it's a train wreck that everybody wants to watch unfold.
It's a circus. It's a circus, and there's no end to it, man. There's no end to it.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching, if you go off, I'm watching that. I'm going, oh, what's he going to say next?
I want to see Fouad lose his fucking mind.
Right? And I might even take a picture of that thing. So keep it. Right? So in case you delete it, I want to see.
That's right.
With some friends too.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, the worst thing you can do is follow it up. And the next thing you do, depending on the mood you're in. Sometimes I leave some stuff up too. Yeah. Like, yesterday I posted some guy put a laugh thing. It wasn't a thing. I was going, what's the joke? I wasn't joking, actually. But he put a laugh thing. So my mind was, did I delete this guy? But I left it, and I left him up there. Yeah. It depends on the mood you're in. We're humans. So this steel face thing, but it's a work in progress.
So basically you're saying, and this is, I think, something I struggle with, is you're saying it's okay to be weak from time to time. Just don't fucking act on it.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Take that breather, or if you're gonna act on it, depending on the day, if it's a really open day, like some wounds are open, delete it. If that's the mood you're in, delete it on that day, because it works.
Yeah, I think the most important takeaway from that is it's okay to feel shitty sometimes. Because I feel like, honestly, there's sometimes where I'll let one of those fucking trolls get to me.
Yeah.
And I feel bad about myself. Yeah. Not because of what they said. I could give a shit what they said. I feel bad because I let it get to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not supposed to let this stuff get to you. And then it's like a vicious circle. Like I feel bad about myself because I let them get to me.
That's right.
But I guess if I just take your advice and say, it's okay if I feel a little weak, just don't get involved in the nonsense and just let it go. So that's.
Yeah. And you said it's sometimes. You didn't say it's all the time. Sometimes.
No. Yeah. It's very rare. Yeah.
Very rare, see? Yeah. But let those rare times come in. And you know what I started doing myself? I started becoming aware of it. Is sometimes, I don't know if you get this, and I'm sure a lot of people do. You start going on media and you're, scrolling. And the minute, here's my strategy. The minute I start to judge. So I went on with good intention. I'm just going to search and say, oh, what the fuck is he putting that up for? What's she doing? Right? You get this narrative running. Every picture.
Yeah.
What's that? Who the fuck would put that up? Like.
Yeah.
Next when you do, the minute you start to get off, because you're.
Why? What does that? What does that mean? What does that mean when you're doing that?
Well, you're getting into the narrative, the negative narrative. The ego starts to get bruised, and you start to compare. You're comparing. You're making yourself feel better by going over it.
Oh, I get it. So you're fucking. So you're telling people their pictures are shit. You're not actually writing it, but in your mind, you're saying,
yeah.
What is this picture? But it's really just because you're comparing yourself and trying to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
I never even connected that. I never even.
That's your time. That's your signal to get off, because it's not going to go anywhere good. Because you tell me, once you get into that state, good luck getting out of that state.
That's so crazy that you said. I never even put those two together. I just thought I was being my same old asshole self. I didn't think I was. I didn't think I was like.
Because remember, you didn't go on. You didn't open it up to be in that state. You opened it up to just check.
That's right.
But 2 minutes later, you're like, "Fuck is that? Who put that up?"
I see.
And
You know what?
every picture,
It's funny that actually, I'm sorry to cut you off, but that actually, it's a really interesting point, and it actually leads me to my next question. It's a topic I had because it's actually really important to me because, I don't know if it's just bodybuilding, but I feel like people are wired to be negative, and
Yes.
I don't know if it's me culturally or, I mean, I had a good upbringing. I'm not saying anything to do with my childhood or anything, but I have a tendency to be negative. I have a tendency to lean that way.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, how does somebody who's like that try and break that cycle? Like, I don't want to be negative anymore. Okay, look, everybody has these thoughts come into their mind or things happen to them in life, right? Yep. For example, let's say I run a sale and I'm selling my clothing, right? You know, I have a clothing business and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's say I sell 100 pieces of apparel. Mm-hmm. My expectation or my brain works in a way that I would say, fuck, why can't I sell 200? This guy over here is selling clothing and he's selling in the thousands. Why am I only selling in the hundreds or in the dozens? Mm-hmm. And I have a tendency to think like that instead of what I would like to think is, 100 pieces, that's pretty good. I'm proud of myself. Let's try and grow it from here. Mm-hmm. Like, how do I eliminate that negative, the instinct to negatively go first? Like the first thought is negative. Yeah. I got to work back from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah. Oh, I get you. Here's the thing. All right. So, the brain is separated into 3 sections. Let's talk about just 2, conscious and subconscious. When you the conscious we control. That's my choice. I can focus on this. I can focus on that. The more what I feed goes deeper. The more I feed this thing, it goes deeper. So your tendency, as you say, to be negative is a wired behavior from decades of practice. You practice that. Okay. So this new thought, see, when you practice being negative before, it was your survival mechanism in your environment. Growing up, you grew up with dudes who you attack each other. You know, again, I'm Jamaican.
Yeah, of course.
We're rough, man. You gotta have a verbal toughness to survive.
That's right.
But what that does, that teaches you trained yourself. So I often tell people, my wife is so amazingly kind. I have to practice who she gets up being. Okay. Like this kindness stuff, you know, sometimes when we were together, you said, why don't you put something up controversial? And Fouad, I had to practice because I grew up practicing the negative stuff so much that it affects me. So I have to practice being a good person. Yeah. Because by nature, I'd like to attack you. I'd like to verbally attack you. I'd like to, you know, that's what I practice. Yeah. So I have to practice wiring myself I think about everything I write. I think about everything I say, especially with my kids. Having 4 kids, I have to watch what I say because what you say has such massive effect on your partner. It has an effect on your kids. I have to do thinking, conscious thinking about what I say and who I am and how I talk to even my employees that work with me. Yeah. It's conscious because trust me, the instinct, the trigger was to attack. Yeah. But I have to, so what I'm getting at with yourself, to change, you have to be reminding yourself that I practice the previous behavior for survival in my environment. It worked because around my boys I had to be in, and you know, I'm attempting to rewire. That's going to take time. It's going to take time. So you're saying, okay, I kind of know what you mean. So sometimes I would think things negatively so that when the positive outcome happened, I was happy instead of expecting the positive outcome and then getting the negative and being disappointed. You know what I mean? And let's rewire that back. Let's go back to I go back to our factory settings. Remember, vulnerability is something we're not good at. We don't want our ego to be hurt. So what do I want to do? I want to be negative to protect my ego. That's right. That's why some people say, I don't believe in goals. Yeah, you don't believe, although they set the damn goals every day. Yeah. I mean, just to get up and freaking get to work is a goal. Yeah. But the thing is, they don't set goals because they're afraid of being disappointed. Yeah. So well, that way but that way there is no disappointment.
Because
There's
if
no disappointment.
if you don't set the goal, there's no disappointment. So in a way, you're living negatively. And I've
Yeah.
done that. I've done that with some things. But obviously, I'm able to set my own goals and try and chase them. But
Mhm.
so you're saying the crux of the problem is I've been thinking this way for so long that now that I want to be in a positive space, I can't just snap my fingers and get there.
Nope.
I have to actually practice the same way as training my body.
Yep. It's a nervous system. Remember something too. We are wiring a nervous system. It's not just I feel like doing it. No, we are wiring. If golfers do it, boxers do it. The way when I watch you work out, you're wired to do a squat a certain way. It would be very difficult to change your squat right now because you've wired your nervous system to do it. So the same thing as how we think, the same thing as how we speak, the quick trigger that you have when someone comes at you, we wire it. We wire
that's so much work, Alvin. Like you have, right. But wait, but wait a minute. Honestly, though, think about it. You have a million thoughts a day.
Yeah.
And if you're inherently a negative person, like I don't want to say I'm a negative person. It's the wrong way to say it. I'm not a negative person, but I tend to protect myself by thinking in a negative thought first.
Yep.
If you inherently think that way, then I mean, you're constantly fighting with your brain because every time I have a thought, I have to now stop, go back and tell myself to think about it differently.
Yes.
That sounds really tiring.
Okay. But here's the thing, Fouad, I wanted to end up, okay. So my father, he died alone. He died in an unmarked grave. We put a name on it was a plaque.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, somebody found him 2 weeks later because he wasn't a good man, a good character.
Yeah.
How do I think that about myself? How do I want to end up? Do I want to? So the goal is what's your outcome? If you don't mind living in the moment. When you're young, you have a lot of energy, man. I could hold grudges. Because I'm young. Who gives a shit?
That's right. Yeah.
I got a lot of energy. As you get older, the energy wanes, dude. It wanes, and you start to look at who's my partner, what I'm around. I want my home to be my sanctitude. This is where I come to. When outside's bad, I want to come home and have this be my peace.
It's true.
You don't want to come in and fight inside. So what's your outcome? That's what everybody wants to think about it's when you're young, man, shit, you can do all of that stuff. You got a lot of energy to fight in the house, out the house. So as you get older, it's like, shoot, I want to come home and just chill.
Dude, right? You're so right. You're so right. When I was young, I could hold a grudge for fucking years.
Dude.
Now, when if I get mad at somebody now, the tension bothers me so much, I have to fix it.
That's what I'm saying. So it's a lot of work, Fouad, but the other piece, remember, I grew up just holding, man, my brothers and sisters, we literally sit in the house and hate on each other for weeks or months. Hold grudges. But I had the energy to do that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm 51 now.
Okay. So we have to, that sounds like a lot of work, Alvin. So I literally have to just think consciously. It's not though. Listen, consciously changing every thought in your mind is a lot harder than bodybuilding.
Well, let me tell you, ask anybody who's trying to lose weight, even 10 pounds, they'll tell you that's a lot of work to be you.
I guess.
The gym, I see you in the gym, you're intense.
Yeah.
You're intense through injuries, you've gone through injuries, you've gone to your back, and that's a lot of work.
I guess I have to try and maybe channel that focus I have for bodybuilding and channel it in my brain.
And just think about Fouad at 50.
Yeah.
And you want Summer to be your partner at 50 and have a really good time traveling the world. Just have a really good connection with her. You guys are talking, growing things together, and it's a nice place to come. When all these haters are doing what they do, you come home and it's your peace.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of coming home being bothered.
I wanted to touch on some entrepreneurial things because I know you're big into entrepreneurship. I mean, you have many businesses, so you're definitely an entrepreneur by nature.
Yeah.
I want to touch on some pitfalls of entrepreneurship that I've run into myself, and I know you've seen them.
Yeah.
Some from the past and some currently, but from the past, for example, I'll say this, and this may help some people coming up. So I know you remember I used to do the t-shirt thing before in the past.
Yeah.
Or I would try and do, I'm going to try and do webinars, or I would do all these little things that I thought would be a good addition to my bodybuilding career in the business of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I was always the kind of person where if 1,000 people didn't buy my t-shirts first weekend, I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's a result of when you're a bodybuilder, you control your body physically. You can control what happens, and you can usually see a change immediately.
Yeah.
It may not be the ultimate goal that you're shooting for, but I can see like I lost 5 pounds or my bench went up 5 pounds or something like that. So I was expecting that in the business side of things. So my pitfalls in the beginning were, I didn't sell 1,000 shirts. Fuck it. It's not worth it. I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say to somebody starting out as an entrepreneur who's starting their own business, whether it be in bodybuilding or any other aspect? How do you go through the start of your business when nobody knows who you are, nobody wants to try your product, word of mouth hasn't gotten out there yet? I mean, those growing pains, how do you get through that and keep going?
Yeah. All right. So here's one thing we have to realize. When I make my first post, let's talk about this social media. People see it and they go, what's this guy about? About it. Nobody follows you. But day 60, they come on, they might stop for a second because they see you still at it. Maybe I'll read like a line. That's it, right? They move. I'm not, right? Right?
Yeah.
Day month 5. Oh, fuck, he's still up here doing this shit?
Still at it, yeah.
Maybe I'll give it a listen then. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So they listen. But no likes. No. Day 365. Oh, he's still, okay, let me, you know what? Okay, I'll just listen to the end of it this time.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I don't like it. 2 years later, I'll like that one. You know, so what I'm getting at is it's trust. We don't want to jump on somebody's bandwagon if we don't know we can trust them to continue to take me on that ride. Because when I buy into hostiles, I buy into a hostile brand or a Fouad himself, I want to know if Fouad's going to show up tomorrow. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon, get to like you, and then you're done in 2 months. So I wait.
Wait a minute. I never fucking realized that.
Yeah.
See, again, this goes back to the beginning of our conversation. I always think about it in terms of me.
Yeah.
Why don't they like me? Why didn't they buy all of my shirts?
Yeah.
You just made more sense of it. You said it's about them. Yeah. They don't trust that you're going to be here tomorrow.
That's right. I'm not going to buy your hostile if I can't wear it next year.
That's right. If next year your fucking brand is gone,
throwing that in the garbage.
You know what's a good example of that is my YouTube.
Yeah.
Because once in a while I'll put up like 20 YouTube videos and then they won't get like 1 million views and I'll decide I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
But it's because the people watching don't trust me because they know my pattern. Oh, he puts up 20 videos and then he's gone.
I'm not going to watch it.
I didn't even think of it in those terms because
it's all trust.
You know what's crazy, trust. Alvin? I'm such a fucking selfish asshole that everything I think about is me first. I didn't think that the customer. Yeah.
This explains the anxiety as well because it's about you turn it into me. Anxiety is about me. The camera is on me. No one gives a shit. Like Kawhi Leonard, I care about him scoring a basket. I don't give a shit about his life.
You know what, though? That's funny. It's funny you said that. I'll get back to the business thing in a minute, but it's funny you said that because I just said to my wife the other day about the anxiety.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it, and I don't know how it came up, but she was like, what made it better, blah, 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 and how come you're doing better now? And I said, you know what? It was Alvin said one thing to me that will never, we've discussed so much shit, but there's one thing you said to me that will never, ever leave my brain, and that was, because I said to you, I feel weird when I walk into a restaurant. I feel like everybody's watching me, and that makes my anxiety worse because I don't want people watching me when I'm like eating or just trying to be alone with my wife or whatever. Yeah. And you said, do you think people give a shit about you that much?
Yeah.
You said to me, if I see you walk into a restaurant, I might look and go, oh, that guy's huge, or oh, that guy's a juice head, or oh, whatever. But that's it. It's a 30-second thought and it's gone. I don't think about you again.
I'm I'm done with you. I'm done. I'm talking to my wife next.
I'm done with you.
Like,
That's right. That's right. It's amazing how the mind works and how you are able to put all this onus on yourself when really people are living their own lives and they don't care. But going back to the business side of things, it really is important what you said. I never thought that it was about trust.
Yeah. If I can't trust you, Fouad, I'm not going to buy. If Nike came out and they told me, oh, Nike's out, then I don't see them for like, they closed down now, they're in Nuki. I'm not buying, because I'm not going to wear your shit if you're not around anymore.
That's right.
I buy into you because I want to buy into a tribe. I want to buy into something that I want to believe in, hostile. And I'm waiting out 10 years later, I'm handing that down to my kid, and it's just this alma mater that I'm buying into, and I know they're gonna always be there. When I'm weak, I know you're gonna be there, right?
Yeah.
When I'm feeling like shit, I know I can count on. Oh, he's gonna be. I can lean over here and get it.
So
right?
what you're saying, and the most important part for all the entrepreneurs listening or people that want to start a business or do anything is you have to earn people's trust.
Yeah.
But it's not, but see, I always thought of that when I thought of that. I knew that, but I thought of it in terms of I have to earn their trust by putting out a quality product. Like I make sure my t-shirts are really high quality, or my hats are made right, or whatever. Or like the designs are done right. I never thought about trust in terms of, are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because why should I buy it? Why should I? Remember, you're asking me, my $20 an hour job, whatever. You're asking me to take money out of my income to invest in you. Invest in your product. For what? What am I going to get out of it? Something I can wear for? And then, oh, what's that? Oh, it was this guy. He did this thing for a month, and now he's not here anymore, but I like his shirt.
I see.
No, you don't. They want to realize that, oh, that's hostile. Yeah, I've seen that around. It's been around for 10 years. That's why people put established since, 1963, Levi's or whatever the hell, right?
Yeah.
They put established.
Yeah.
Because that's important. That's important to know you're going to show up. Take a personal relationship. If Summer couldn't count on you being there, she would never be with you still. Because if you're flighty here and there, she'd never invest in you.
Yeah.
You'd be right.
That's a little different though, because it's easy to know that person's counting on you. I didn't. I just easy for me. Like I always. I guess I just look at I look at the relationship with my wife differently than I look at my business, which is not necessarily. I mean, maybe I should look at them the same. Like you still have to earn your customer base's trust and show them that you're there for the long haul.
Business is straight trust.
Yeah.
For me to get my dollar out of my pocket and give it to you, it's trust.
See, I knew that. Like it's weird. I knew that, but I always thought, like I said, I thought of it in terms of the material you're using or your customer service or those kind of things. I didn't think of it in terms of the just being around. But so basically what you're saying is for guys that are starting, you just have to go through the shit until people believe in you.
Yep. And remember also, the thing about going through the shit is the shit gets better.
Yeah.
As you go through the shit, your iterations of it get better and better. And then they know more is coming. So, you take have you ever seen some really good quality shit that never makes it, but some shitty shit makes it because they're always putting stuff out? That's what I mean. Because even social media guys, I've seen some guys out there that I can mention. We're making $1 million a year, but they're consistent. And some guys who should make $1 million, but they're not because they're not consistent.
I see. It's tough though, because I think the part of that hurts you is your emotions and your vulnerability and your ego. Because your ego, look, I'll use myself again. Your ego gets to you. You put something out and you think it's really good. Like, I really like this design. I put it on a really quality shirt. I gave a good price point, blah, blah, blah. Why is it not flying off the shelf? Why did I sell 30 when I should have sold 300?
Yeah.
So then your ego starts to go, oh, maybe this is not for you. That's when the self-doubt creeps in. And you're like, oh, maybe this business thing's not for you. maybe you shouldn't sell t-shirts. Maybe you should just stick to bodybuilding. Maybe like and then that kills me. Like it just, and then that see, now I'm enduring it.
Yeah.
I'm at a point now where I think I've grown as a person, and now I'm like, no, I don't care if I sell 30 shirts or 3 shirts.
Yeah.
I'm going to endure this shit because I want to.
Right.
But I think in the past, what it was, oh, this hurts my feelings. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel this. I don't want to feel this pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, so you just said it. You just said the human nature kicked in, and we don't want to feel the pain. Because in your brain, the pain of being ostracized or being vulnerable, they've shown it lights up the same pathways as physical pain.
Okay.
Yeah, physical pain.
So you're trying to protect yourself.
100%. And
wow.
It shows not feeling physical pain. Remember, it lights up the same pathway. So it doesn't have to, pain is, I've heard somebody say, take somebody when they put you on anesthetics. Yeah. There's actually no medication. You just shut your brain off and you can cut somebody open.
Yeah.
Right. So the signal of pain in your brain that's wired, being vulnerable, wires the same pathways as physical pain. So we don't want to feel that. So we'll do anything we can.
That's crazy to think. So why is it that when I have self-doubt, like when I'm 8 weeks out from a show, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not going to be in shape. Maybe I have all these self-doubt thoughts.
Yeah.
Why is it that I can just close my eyes and keep doing the cardio and keep training and keep doing this and why is it that I'm wired that way when it comes to that kind of self-doubt? But then when it comes to self-doubt in business or entrepreneurship, I don't have that same push through anyway.
Right. Knowing you personally, so this is a personal thing that I would say. You have a bar that's really high, and it's called your brother, your siblings. They've set a high bar for you. So when you don't hit that bar, it's tougher. Bodybuilding, they're not in that field. So you own that space in your world, right? In business, you don't own that space, right? That bar has been set for you. So the minute you have a disappointment in that space, there's a bar that you measure it by, and you're like, fuck it. Maybe I'm not a business person. Like, you didn't finish the sentence though. Like your successful brother, because I know he's successful.
Yeah.
So you have a bar that you want to hit. It's a big bar. They set a big bar for you because he's super successful.
I see. So you have to, at the same time as trying to manage your pains, you have to manage your expectations as well.
And put it in context, because if he entered fitness, he'd have a long way to catch up to you because he's paid to do, right? What's the quote? It takes 20 years. If anybody entered, they couldn't catch you right now. Because they didn't put in the time. They got time, man. They got to put that in to get the body and the mindset.
It's funny, we never think of it that way, because you're 100% right. He's been in business, and I don't want to use my brother because, we're gonna, but just for the sake of the conversation. But
so anybody can use anybody else,
yeah. He's been in business for 20 years. I think 20 now, 25 maybe. Anyway, and I'm literally just starting. So it'd be like today if he came to me and said, "I want to be a pro bodybuilder," I would laugh at him.
Yeah,
I would be like, "Well, I'll see you in 10 years."
That's right, exactly. So, you still not even catch me yet.
Yeah, right? That's like me going to him and saying, "I want to be a millionaire." He would laugh at me and be like, "Okay, well, make your first 1,000 first."
That's right.
That's right.
But then the thing is, the issue is you look up to him.
Yeah.
He's a role model for you.
That's right.
So you're going to judge yourself by him, and it's not right, but that's what we do. Right?
Yeah.
When we experience that loss.
Yeah. We've been on for about an hour. I don't want to keep you forever, but I want to get a couple quick hitters from you.
Yeah.
What is so Alvin is what would exactly be your physical title? A massage therapist or an osteopath, or what is it exactly?
Now, the word I've always used and I'm using is, I want to coin my own word because I don't do any of that. I'm an integrated peak performance consultant. So basically what I do is I take an integration of everything, and my goal is to get you fucking rocking, man. I really am interested in getting not every on a mass scale, yeah, a lot of people. But the people that I work with intimately, I want to mind, body, soul, man. I want to get you optimal. So I'm a peak performance consultant.
Okay, so I want to. Okay, so basically, you're helping people with. If an athlete comes to you, you're helping them with injury. You're helping them mentally. You're getting them prepared for the stage in all aspects.
You see, and here's the reason why I want to move away from titles, because if you've gone to an osteopath, they do a certain thing, you think you're going to get that from me, you're not. If you went to a massage therapist, you think you're going to get this from me, you're not. If you went to a, whatever, you put me in a box. I don't want to be in that box. I want to be in my own box.
Yeah.
So I created my own box, because at the end of the day, you're not getting any of what you thought.
Yeah.
I look at the nervous system and how you function. I look at the anatomy, the physiology, the organs, the cranial system. I jam them all together. And I also throw in meridians and nutrition. And so I want to be in my own box, and I've always been that way. So that's what I call myself, a peak performance, integrated peak performance consultant. So
okay, what is the craziest injury you've seen a professional athlete in any genre? Because I know you've dealt with some UFC fighters as well.
Yeah.
What is the craziest injury you've seen an athlete come back from?
Come back from? Well, that'd probably be, Ronnie is one, and you're another, quad tears, and over the years, so many different things that you've come, pec tear, separation.
Like not heavy duty, but
dimple, you can see the separation, a piece of it.
Yeah.
So things that I've seen them come back from, where it's like, wow. And some people missing a quad, they're missing the rectus femoris. Whereas, they go to pose and it's bunched up. And so, I've seen a lot of that. And Ronnie's the biggest one, he's the guy with his lat. When I first met Ronnie in 2007, his right lat looked like when you let air out of a tire slowly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was gone,
Do you think, knowing Ronnie and being in the field you're in, but also, for those of you who don't know, Alvin was a competitive boxer for a long time, almost at the Olympic level, right?
Yeah. That's my goal.
So knowing Ronnie and knowing the competitive side of sports as well, what would you say to people that say he did it the wrong way and he probably regrets it, or I would never want to be him, or any of those things? What do you say? Do you think Ronnie did what he should have done, or do you think he should have done something different?
Again, I talked to Ronnie just recently, actually, a little while ago. He regrets nothing. He regrets zero. I think if he died tomorrow, he'll die with a smile on his face.
I think we all know that, because we've heard him say it in some of the documentaries. But what do you think, as a physician, but also an athlete? Would you be able to go that road, or would you have done things differently? Okay,
so let's take that over into what I'm doing now. A lot of people say, "Why don't you take it easy?" And Fouad, sometimes I think to myself, it's such a pain in the ass running this business and managing people, and why don't you? I mean, you get everything. You get your back stroked, and you're getting, money is there. Why? It's such a pain in the ass. But I wouldn't do it any other way. I would not change a damn thing, because it's just to think of the opposite, which is doing less. I'm sorry, it doesn't work.
So you're saying the struggle that Ronnie went through, or the struggle that you're going through, you've put on yourself purposely,
and continue to do it.
So it's almost like people like us.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of in that same boat too. So people like us are doomed to never be happy. Is that what you're saying?
Never be settled.
Satisfied. Never to be satisfied.
We're happy, but never be settled. Yeah. Right. But
that's really
have to. Yeah.
But that's really frustrating. You know that, right?
It is, but man, we wouldn't change it.
You're right. You're right. I do enjoy the challenge of figuring out something new.
I gotta change.
Yeah. See, because part of me feels like. Sorry, go ahead, Alvin. Say that again.
You won't agree to go lawn bowling with later on, so it won't change.
But part of me thought there would be a day where I could just put my fucking feet up and be like, well, I did it, and it's everything, and I just want to watch TV until the end.
Right. And you know, the end would come about an hour after that. They're finding the chair, feet up dead. So, because I've talked to entrepreneurs who have made millions. Like they're no mortgage. They hit the mark that everybody says they would do. If I made $1 million, I'd quit. They did.
Yeah.
Their wives, get the hell out of here. Go find something to do. And they went back to work within 3 months. It's just not in your DNA, man. There's some people who were made to contribute bigger. And they said, we love shit. I know a guy who works at the postal office. He's owned by one. He's in his pool. He's good.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, dude, that gives me hives, man. I can't even do that. So and I think everybody should be like me. No, they don't need to be.
So you're saying the struggle of always chasing a new endeavor is just in us, and it's not going to go away.
Good luck trying to get rid of it. You know, I almost say it's like get out of the closet. You know, you got to get out of the closet because you're trying to fool somebody. You're not. I write in my book. I said, you know, I used to kill myself because I would believe what people tell me. That you're working too hard. That you should be doing it because they love vacations. They work to get to a vacation. I can't wait to get back from a vacation to get going again.
That's true.
I can't help it.
I tell people. I just had this conversation with somebody. They're like, we're going on vacation for 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks? I'm like, that sounds like a fucking nightmare. I'm like, I'm good for 3 days, and then I want to go home. I'm
telling you, seriously, my wife knows it. When I'm home for a time, the kids might like back to work. Man. They're literally telling me to get back. Yeah. It is what I found. I used to fight it. I used to fight it because it's what everybody's telling me you should be doing. So I figured there's something wrong with me, right? Yeah.
Well, because society, even though society wants us to work, people in society feel like if you're working too hard, there's something wrong with you.
And what do they call too hard? Yeah. Right? Yeah. So some people, me at work here, I had this one practitioner here ask me, so what do you do for fun? Yeah. Hang on, wait a minute now. So you think what I'm doing, you think I chose something that's not fun for me? Yeah. So this is what you call the 4-letter word you call work. I call it fun, man. This is fun for me. Yeah. So you think I wouldn't be here. Why would I choose to do this if it wasn't fun? Yeah. I know it's a work for you and you're looking to get to a vacation. I'm on the vacation. Right?
I see. I didn't, I guess the one thing that you always said to me that has also always stuck with me is you have to go through the fire to feel the glory on the other end. And there's never glory without fire first. So
yeah, that guy behind you right there over your left shoulder, he said, you know, I want to put in, I forgot the word but put in the extra time now so I can live my life like a champion. I want to suffer now. Live my life like
suffer in the gym now so I can feel the glory later. Yeah, no, that's true. So I want to touch on one more thing before you go. You said something to me once about quitting. You said, I think there was a show coming up and I was feeling a little bit down about it. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this one. I might catch the next one. Mm-hmm. And you said to me something that's also stuck with me forever, which is if you quit once, you will always quit and it will get easier every time. Yeah. So explain that to those who don't kind of grasp it just as what it is.
Okay. So I'm going to ask anybody listening to think about someone they know, friend, family, who have always quit something. And you tell me that they don't do that in every part of their life. Quit a diet, quit a relationship, quit this, quit that. The act of quitting, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So the minute you learn to do something, it gets easier to do it. And the flip is hard. I have a friend who could never keep a promise. 0 promise. I'm talking this person, they had 5, they don't show up. You know, that kind of thing. They kept opening businesses and kept shutting it down because they can't keep promises. They can't in any area. Because you see, the things, although you may, take for instance, someone who says, when you pay me more, I'll start doing more. That's bullshit. Yeah. It's been proven. When you start doing more for less, like if you're getting $15 an hour, but doing $100 an hour work, it sucks. But guess what? when you start getting paid $1 million, you're going to do this much work. You know what I mean? So don't think you're going to all of a sudden change your habits and be better, right? So, you know, I love once you quit, you're telling your brain, again, let's go back to, everything goes back to your nervous system. The minute you quit, it's easier to quit. Just like we're getting old, for instance. The reason why you'll see me still dancing with my daughter at 51, you know, I'm dancing with her online or whatever, is the reason I know something. Once I stop, once I say I'm too old and I stop doing the thing I love to do, it's that much harder to do it again and again and again. And then I get old. Once you get old in here, the rest follows. But
I want to express to people also that you're not talking about big things only. Like some people think, let's say people want to quit smoking, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to quit smoking. And then a week will go by. It's not a priority to them. So like, oh, you know what? I'm going to smoke and I'll try quitting another time.
Right.
Just, even though that's not harmful to you, I mean, smoking is harmful, but even though that's not like the end of the world.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like you said, you're training yourself to quit.
Yeah.
So the worst part about that is not necessarily that you're going to start smoking again. The worst part about it is that you just said to your brain, I'm not really committed to anything. It doesn't really matter. Right. I can quit whenever the fuck I want. There's no consequence.
I'm going to give you an example for it. And you notice in your profession, do you notice that when you're training for a competition, your entire life is on par, man? You are putting out videos. You are executing like a month. You can't get the motivation to get out of bed. It's like, I don't want to do that article. I don't want to do anything.
In the off season,
In the off season, everything goes down. When you're up, God, give me more. What you got? I got to execute on. You're executing at the top level. When you're down, it's like sit down. So what you did at the top level is your brain goes into, there's a great quote that says, if you want something done, give it to a busy person.
Yeah.
Right? The person with a lot of time who's not executing ain't going to execute what you want to do anyways. It's just not in. So the execution of a person who's like, give me it. You give them, you think, man, they must be too busy. Like my mentors, for instance, who are million, you call them and they got time. It's unbelievable. I mean, how do you have time? I thought you'd be too busy. But they make time because that's just the way it is, man. People, you ever talk to somebody who they don't have a job, but they don't have time for like nothing. How do you not have time?
I've been there. I've been there.
Right?
I've been there myself. Listen, exactly what you just said. The off season rolls around. I'm like, I'm so busy. I got nothing. I have nothing to do, but I can't find the time to do shit because I'm just. You're right. I'm in a mode where, just nothing's firing.
Man.
Yeah.
Then on season, you got training. Your schedule like jammed. You're like $1 million company. It is what it is.
But I think a lot of that's physiological too. I think, the food we eat when we're in the off season, the junk food, the McDonald's, whatever, it translates to the way to our productivity. Versus when I'm dieting and I'm eating super clean and all that also, you know what I mean? So,
however, listen to that though. This is what you said. What McDonald's represents, that when you eat McDonald's, you're in a funky mood.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
You're in a funky mood. So it's a mindset around McDonald's. Because I bet you what, in the off season, if you ate clean in the off season, you'd be more productive as well.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's a mindset. It's not the food. The food just represents the food does give you that lack of energy. There's no energy exchange in the food because it's fat and it's all that. But it's also the mindset. I feel like eating like shit.
Oh, so you're saying, wait a minute. So you're saying I gave myself permission to eat McDonald's. That means I'm also giving myself permission to be a fat fucking lazy ass.
That's right.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So I'm creating my world, and McDonald's is saying to my brain, your world is bullshit right now. You can take a break.
It's a representation.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
See, guys, this is why I brought Alvin on. It's amazing how over the years, speaking to Alvin, I have come to these small revelations that seem super obvious. And I've told him this before. It seems extremely obvious when we say these things to each other, but you just don't think of them. Somehow Alvin has a way of has a way of making your brain twist and think in a different light than you would normally. Like I would have never thought. I thought it was the shitty ingredients in the McDonald's food that were making me a lazy ass. I never thought to put together what it's representing.
Okay, let's put it this way. The shitty food is the cart. The brain's a horse. So you put the cart in front of the horse. Switch it around, right? Because once the brain feels like being ignited, the cart was behind, right? Right now you chose the shitty food consciously because you're in a shitty mood. So the food didn't come before the feeling. The feeling came before the food. So
it's kind of like, I know I feel like being a lazy ass tonight, just sitting around and watching a movie. So I'm gonna grab some McDonald's because that's what I do when I want to be a lazy ass.
That came after the thought. Yeah.
That's right.
McDonald's after. It's not like you're like sitting there like I'm motivated and someone slips some food in your mouth because you're sleeping. And you're like, oh, right? Because you did, right?
Yeah.
Someone sneaks food in your mouth and you're like, oh, fuck, I feel shit now. Right? Because it didn't, what did you do?
Yeah.
Right? So the thought came before you had to go up and get it.
That's right. Okay, we're going to wrap it up, but I want to ask you, Alvin, is there anything, any message you want to portray or anything you want to promote or where people can reach you before I let you go?
Yeah, they can check out my site, and I'm usually at Fouad show, so you can come check me there, come up and
what is your site? What is your site?
Okay, journeytopersonalgreatness.com or the Center for Healing and Peak Performance.com.
Okay.
Right. They can go and check me out there. And if I can help, I'm gonna be working on putting together some seminars for the end of the year this year. I want to get some seminars done this year, but I want to be better than I did the first one. So that perfectionist kind of mentality have made me not be able to put out some seminars that I want to do. So stay in touch. I'm on Instagram as well, alvin.b.brown, and Journey to Personal Greatness on Instagram. If you want to put up hear my shit every 5 days a week. I spit it out to you 1 minute a day, and just to light the brain.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, Alvin, I am going to let you go because we've been on for a little while, but I really, really appreciate your time, and I hope everybody got a glimpse into my coach and how you've helped me over the years. So I hope that helps everybody else too.
Awesome. I appreciate, like I said to you online, I appreciate the opportunity, man, that you've done for me personally, put me in the MC, all of those things help to build who I am today. So I appreciate it too.
It's been great, Alvin. I'm sure we'll talk again and we'll have you on soon. So until then, thank you everybody for listening, and we'll see you soon.
You got it, brother.